Okay, I think it went live. Scuff is scuff. I'm sending a signal
Yeah.
somewhere. uh,
Somewhere into the void, right?
yep, that's it. It's on brand.
Mhm.
Okay, now I'm going to
Absolutely.
quickly concern everyone. There we go. Okay. I do not see anything though.
I do.
So it's actually live.
Cool. Yay. We
Okay,
made it. We
we
made
made
it.
it. Yes, we're here. We're here. Cool. So, uh,
Hello.
hello.
Keenan, how's it going? Welcome to Void and Banish. We have the lovely co-hosts Roguery and myself.
Yeah,
And yeah, glad to be here.
the
This is exciting.
we're doing well. I'm doing
Yeah,
well.
definitely. Especially with like the early access this week and next week we're doing launch. Lots to be excited about.
Yeah, there's a huge amount to be excited about. Like I'm it's a weird one, right? I'm when I'm doing the whole content stuff, I am so nervous. At the same time, I'm like super excited because content's always fun, right? The expansion I think is like one of the best times to play the game.
Yeah, I really love when you're even in like pre-patch and early access, you are running around on the server and at least with Moonguard, there's so many people that you run into that or like, from various social media and just like rating and just all that stuff. If you've been playing for a while, like it just feels so alive and it's definitely one of my favorite
Yeah.
times to play too.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I don't know if we actually have any streamers, like well-known streamers like um on our realm, because on Silvermoon we definitely are a big server though. You definitely meet people that you recognize. We used to have some pretty well-known people, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, you're on EU, so
Mhm.
it's a little like a different environment, but yeah, like if you're on one of the biggest servers, that should be fun. Just even running into people that you've like played with before, definitely.
Yeah,
There's always like a vaguely familiar name that like does a slash wave or just everyone like standing around NPCs and
yeah.
stuff like that.
So how many expand, because this is my, hang on, 12th expansion launch, which I think is a few more than yourself, but
Oh yeah, holy moly, that is a lot.
I've been doing this for a little while. So how many of you?
Yeah. So I started playing at the end of Legion, with like the end of the Antorus raid. So my first launch was actually BFA, which was very, very exciting. Even not knowing a ton of people just yet. I was on Worm Rest Accord back then.
Yeah,
So not as alliance heavy, but still like even just the energy of the launches is so much fun.
yeah,
Everyone's excited, they're like optimistic. Yeah, all the stuff is coming and there's a lot to look forward to.
yeah. Like this one feels really different for me, but like they I it's sorry, I'm a little bit tired. I will apologize, but like the expansion launch is just one of those times where you're just like, oh, I want to jump in. Like I don't know
Mhm.
how I feel about the early access thing a little bit, because I feel like it fragments the player base a little bit. And one of the best parts about an expansion launch is that where nothing works and you're going through it together and you're like, nothing works, but because you're there with other people, it makes it better. Like I get that maybe with the early access things work, but part of the experience of an expansion launch is nothing works. And
Yeah,
you
even the Twilight Highlands stuff was like, I don't know about you, but it was a little bumpy for sure.
yeah, we EU isn't too bad. We have NA beta testing. We don't get NA beta testing for expansion launches. They launch at the exact same time, so we get the same experience as
Mhm.
you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I my best memory of a launch, which was kind of like I was waiting for just everything to go wrong. Because I mean, you expect something, right? It's new stuff. There's a lot of pieces moving,
Yeah.
but Dragonflight was incredibly smooth. Like it was eerily
It
smooth,
I
which
think
was kind of cool.
I don't know if you had it on your server, but on my server, no one could take the boat.
Oh no.
The like one
Oh,
boat.
that's right. That's right. I had
Yeah.
like a couple people in my guild that could, and one of them was a warlock, and she was just summoning people. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, we had one boat turn up, and then a few people got on it, but like because you had to do the little like quest beforehand or something, and not everyone was there.
Yeah.
A few people got on it, but then the boat despawned like somewhere out in the sea,
No.
and then no boat
Oh.
ever turned up again. So it was like, okay, so how do we get to the? And they ended up just spawning a portal like on the dock to get
Oh
people
yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I remember that one, and I think the worst expansion launch ever for me was Mr. Pandaria.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't even too bad for me, but like that's the one that I think was the worst for most people because I don't know. Have you done the Mr. Pandaria intro quests on Alliance
Yeah,
side?
so I did remix and you got kind of that experience, right? Like the starting area and the quests that you do.
Yeah. Do you remember there's a quest where you have to ride in a chopper? And like right at the beginning, so the very beginning on the Alliance side, there's
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Where while you're getting like the download of what's happening and all the like conflict, right?
yeah, except that didn't happen. Everyone got in the chopper and that was it. You all got like it
Oh
flew up in the air and there was hundreds of people just stuck in these choppers flying in the air. It was brilliant. I there's screenshots of that one. The Horde side didn't have such a bottleneck quest, so they weren't too bad, but the Alliance
no.
side
Okay.
got absolutely like stuck. Like there was no way you could get through that quest line. I think it
I
took
think
about
that
4 or 5 hours for them to fix it as well.
I think for like midnight especially, it's pretty on theme that they should just put a portal up and people just go into it,
Well,
right?
that's what I think.
Versus all these vehicles that just cause
Yeah.
major chaos.
Well, I don't know. Have you done any of the beta testing?
I have. I was just doing some of the Umbric stuff, but I didn't read any of the other quest texts because I wanted to
Enjoy
have it
it.
be like, yeah, yeah.
Something new. Because I know one of the things I know is there is a vehicle quest in the intro scenario. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, it's gonna happen again. We're all gonna get stuck at the exact same point. And this time we're all doing the intro scenario together. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Because it's the expansion where we kind of like team up with Horde instead of being
oh,
against them.
we love it. We love it. That's what we want. I don't like
Yeah, sorry
the
if you hear a dog yawning. I have a dog in my lap.
that's fine.
I did take away the squeaky toys though, so you don't get to hear that.
But yeah,
Um, yeah, so we kind of like took a turn from the Oasis
yeah,
podcast we were doing with Hooli. Hooli wasn't available anymore, and it just felt like a good time to like explore a little beyond what we'd been doing with Oasis. We really love Oasis. We're still really involved with them, even from a support standpoint. So I'm excited to do something a little different, and I kind of miss doing stuff with Hooli too, but yeah, like we always end up talking about WoW stuff and from different perspectives too. A little bit of crossover, obviously,
yeah,
but it was just so much fun where, I missed talking to you and just chatting about that. And this is a really great way to kind of just like share our thoughts and like how we're feeling about the game at the
yeah,
beginning of an expansion during it and yeah, like talk to you guys about it too.
yeah. Because hopefully this carries on, and we can definitely discuss the expansion because I like having an outlet where I can sort of talk about the game. If you get what I mean, I enjoy talking about the game.
Yeah, we kind of both really nerd out in the
Yeah.
details, and I always like listening to streams and podcasts about that because you always learn something different. Everyone has their their topics and, in-game content that they really are excited about, and I definitely learn a lot from just interacting with other people or watching other stuff too.
Yeah, because it's weird because like I said, I enjoy it. I could talk about the game for hours and hours and hours because I enjoy it. But it's sometimes hard to find people, even
It's a
people
good
who play
problem to
the game.
have.
Yeah, but like it can be hard to find people who want to talk about the game, right? And don't just want to like play the game. Like there's a little bit of nuance difference between, oh yeah, I enjoy the game and I play the game.
Absolutely. I think we both do that. Like, I know that you spend a lot of time putting some care and thought into the YouTube stuff you do
Yep.
and, just sharing the like really cool little, not secret things, but, off the beaten path stuff. And I really enjoy that. That's always fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always get back a little into streaming around the start of a new expansion too. And it's easy to overdo it because you are excited about things. But yeah, like hopefully this is, we have like an outlet to talk to each other even about it. And yeah, like I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of content you do too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the like we said earlier, I love expansion launches, but they're just so much
Yes.
fun. Like you get
Yes.
you get all of the new stuff. And like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm the silly person who spends, I don't know, I looked at my playtime on beta yesterday and it was 7 days. Like
Holy
my
moly.
slash played was
Yeah.
7 days, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm insane, but like I enjoy doing that. I don't know if I enjoy
Yeah, I
doing it
mean,
that
who
much,
cares?
but
This is the thing that you enjoy. Definitely enjoy it how you want to. Um, I know that usually we have our classes that we like to main, but are
yeah.
you gonna stick with yours and what are you doing?
Okay, so I've had a look at, because basically every expansion, I'm more of a role player, right? I pick my role rather than my
Not RP,
class.
but yeah,
No, yeah, like
I gotcha.
yeah, definitely not in that way, definitely. But as in, like, I will pick a tank. I like tanking, so I'm like, which tank do I want to play? Now, I've played Blood DK for two expansions in a row, and I don't change. Once I've picked, even if, for example, even if they said, yeah, Blood DKs are no longer allowed to wear weapons, I'm like, I'm gonna make it work because I stick with it through the whole expansion. And I
Yeah,
actually think I might stick with Blood DK again.
your challenge modes
Mm.
for sure. That would definitely be a thing you would do. I definitely see
Yeah,
that. But you've always been a bloody K in my mind. I know you play other stuff too, but
yeah.
yeah, that's roguery to me.
I was gonna say my name doesn't fit. Like I should be playing Rogue, but I don't know. At least I
Yeah,
don't play
so a
Red
little
Paladin, right?
yeah, a little podcast lore. When we were coming up with the name for this, I am terrible at coming up with names, but I really loved your like lore for the Void and Vanish
Yeah.
title. Want to share that?
Wait, did I have law? I can't remember.
Well, I'm using that term in a silly way, but yeah, like obviously if you've been with us before with the Oasis podcast, um I definitely play priest. I don't main shadow, but I love the void. So that was a really fun way to include that. And then you first mained a rogue.
Yes, which is where my not where my name come from.
Mhm.
My name actually, my name has some really weird. I don't want to say weird actually. Like it has some uninteresting, I would say, roots, because I was playing a game called RuneScape and I couldn't come up with a name. Do you know, like when you're, it's the same. You get asked to name
I
your
feel that.
character, and you're just like, I don't know. Like you're asking me on the spot, like name your character that you could be. For example, like some people playing in 20 years' time. Like it's a big commitment, and it's like, how do I pick a name? And it's like, okay, I opened the dictionary and found the first word that I opened it up on, and that was the first word that I opened it up on.
I love reading people's names on even on like an RP server. A lot of
Yeah.
people will pick really funny random things, but Yeah, I feel that. I often just open Spotify and grab like a band name or something,
That's
but
such a good
the
idea. I
the
didn't
rough
even think of
part, I
that.
think the pressure that you get for picking a name is I've definitely when I played Final Fantasy 14, I made a silly name for my character, and that's what people end up calling you when you raid with
Yep.
them or like jump in voice chat. And I was like, oh, please call me something else. My character's name was Tail. It was really awkward. So yeah, but like in WoW, especially when you're doing content under like Roguery or I do it under Eluvianna, it feels a little better because you're like, okay, I picked a good name. I don't
Yeah.
mind being called this because it's not super awkward, but it can be.
Yeah, because it's funny because on the beta you get way more names, right? Like there's way less people playing, so you're just like, okay, I can just put in whatever I want. And I I was like, because I was testing some of the professions, I was like, I need to test inscription, and I put in the name Mill Lady because I picked on a Draenei and it lady come up, so I was like Mill Lady, and I was like, I want this name because it sounds
Great.
like Milady, and it's somebody who's doing inscription, so it's like Mill Lady, and now I want that character name, and it's
Oh
like,
no.
oh, now I've got to make another character just because I really, really want that name.
Yeah, isn't your Death Knight is not named Roguery though, which would
No,
be kind of funny if it was.
no, my DK. I have a DK called Roguery, surprisingly, because I don't know why. I like the name. I've been Roguery for years and years and years. But
Definitely is.
yeah, my DK is actually called Morgan,
That's right. That's right.
which people
I
call
always get
me,
sad when
which
I
is
see it on
weird.
my B-neck because it's like
What?
EU realm. Like, please
Oh,
make an NA character.
I have an NA character. I just don't play
Well,
it
one
very
you can
often.
play endgame with.
I have. It's
This is
max
the
level.
eternal like struggle.
I was going to say keeping two accounts going is just so much work. Like having, I wish it would work together. That like if I unlock like easy crests on one, it will work on the other one. Like I wish
Yeah.
warbands were region wide. I'm so hoping they announce some like region stuff in the future.
I feel like technically at this point it should be able to have there should be some
At least
option for
progress
connection, but
towards it.
I'm not a
Yeah.
game dev.
I don't understand it either. Like, I wish they would just say, we have looked at it. These are the reasons we can't do it, or these are the reasons we want to try and do it, and stuff like that.
And then they'll get comments on the forum, a Sethrak playable race win. And you're just
Yeah.
like
Oh, that one does. I will start a rant on that one. I'll be like, because I'm like trying to look at stuff on the beta, and like look at and you go through the beta forums, and it's like I'm trying to find out if there's like a fix for something that's broken, and all it's full of is
right.
people asking for stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, but like this isn't the idea of the beta forums, isn't to go, I want this, I want that, I want. It's to be like, yeah, I've tested the beta and this isn't working, or I think this would be a
Yeah.
good improvement to this system that's already in the game. Not
Right.
I
At
want
some point I just
ogres.
stopped scrolling.
I want ogres. Ogres seem to be a really popular one that a lot of people seem to want.
Oh yeah. On the EU forums?
On both of them, NA and EU, on the beta forums.
Gotcha.
I have no idea why. But yeah, ogres seem to be a popular
Keep that in mind.
choice that people want. But what about you? What are you sticking with your priest? I assume.
Yeah, so I'm one of those people that really just sticks with one class for like being all in on my content, my end game
Hmm.
content and even like RP stuff. Um but yeah, like I usually play Holy and Raid. And then I've been doing a lot of disc ever since Dragonflight for Mythic Plus, which I really love. That was the season 1 where disc got a lot of changes that made it really less of like a crazy management of
Yeah.
like your buffs and stuff to to play. So it was a good time to get started. I really love it. It was really fun of season 1 with the War Within, and then it kind of like fell off. You know, as it does. Priest, I feel like gets a lot of nerfs at some point, except for really holy. So I mean, actually, the group I was running Mythic Plus with, our one of our folks wanted to heal on Druid, and I was like, please go for it. Like I've been trying to prioritize learning Shadow and do push keys with it. So the last two seasons of the War Within, I've been really having fun playing DPS. I'm not the best, but I mean, I'm not keeping the group behind, which is kind of the like modest goal there. But yeah, Holy's looking really good for Mythic Plus in season one, which is kind of surprising. It's a really good like solve your mistakes quickly
Yeah,
spec in general. So it feels like it should have been before, like it should have been in a good spot or a decent spot. I don't mean need to be meta.
yeah,
But yeah, like I'm looking forward to switching it up a little bit. I always love like swapping between the two, but I haven't really felt that it was good enough to do that
hmm,
for my interest. But I'm really excited to see what it's like. And then, Holy's great. We got a lot of class pruning over the last or the end of the War Within, which is really nice because there's things like in raid, I totally take like heal off my bars because flash heal procs is
yeah,
like where it's at. And, just like streamlining things that I've been personally like wanting anyway as a priest player for a long time. So I'm in a good place. I'm stoked, but I know
yeah.
not everyone is
I
as
w-
lucky, right?
I was gonna say I would find it interesting to hear your take on the whole class pruning thing because I think a lot of people overreact to it because as Blood DK, I'm like, hell yeah, I got rid of half of the annoying buttons that I didn't like pressing
Mhm.
anyway. Whereas I know other people have been very much, I've got two buttons to press now and I'm not happy. And it's like, I don't feel like, out of all of the
Mm,
classes I've tested, I've not had one that's felt lacking in terms of rotation. But like, maybe they are there and they're just the ones that I haven't tested. But I think maybe there's a little bit of an exaggeration where people will, to prove a point, be like, I'm going to remove all of the optional keys that you can pick on the talent tree and only take the passive
Yep.
options just to make it less buttons to prove a point. And
I mean, if you're like a main or you are up for the challenge, I think that's actually a fun way to do it. I feel like a lot of the starter builds kind of do that anyway
yeah,
because, assuming you're learning something new, right? Like you'll start to figure out like what you wish you had more of, and then you'll have an option for like an active skill, right?
yeah,
Something like that in general. But yeah, that's why I don't read the class discords or the forums before like all the changes are in because it's an emotional roller coaster. Um, and I can't keep track of things. I just want to know how it ends up because otherwise you're like, well, now I have to play this way and this way. And not being a theory crafter, uh,
yeah.
it doesn't really, it does more like, it gives me more anxiety than anything, right?
Hmm.
So I'll get friends messaging me, priest friends that are like, oh, did you see that? Either excited or like, you know, depressed about something. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to get into that black hole of like,
Yeah.
up and down until it's kind of done. But I do follow generally what Blizz is doing for stuff. And I loved the idea of pruning stuff. Because at least for Priest, it felt like there was a lot of things that for Holy, especially in Raid, I was like, I never use this. Like, what's the point of this? It's kind of, like an artifact of something else, right? Um, so yeah, I'm super stoked. I think there's a lot of people that I talk to that have mixed feelings though. Uh, like I think a lot of the classes, the healing classes that got their kicks taken away, like I didn't even have a
I
kick, so I don't.
I was gonna
Welcome to
say
my world.
I heal on priest and I'm like, wait, you had kicks? I'm like, I just sit there and watch people die because they don't kick, and I'm like, I can't help. I don't know what to do. I just have to sit there and watch it
Yeah.
happen. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be like us now, except if you're shaman, right? Shaman still has
Mhm.
their interrupt, but like, it's weird because I don't think I think the pruning was in general quite successful. Like, I think it was a good thing because there was a lot of classes where like you just go through the list. There was like, I can't remember, I think it was one of the rogue specs. You went through and like the opener for like the spec on like one of the guides, like on Wowhead or something like that, was like 22 steps. And I'm like, 22 steps? I'm like,
No.
what? I don't want to do 22 steps. I want like 4, 5, maybe 6 is like a good thing. Anything beyond that, and it's like, I feel like I'm like, no, I'll get lost halfway through, and it's not fun. It's fun to try and do like 6 things in an order. I don't want to play piano. I don't want to remember all of the different notes in for 22 different steps.
This is like my biggest like issue too. Like, even just playing what I consider probably not that demanding of a spec. I off spec'd in like reclear raids as Havoc last season.
Yeah.
And I was like, I usually love Havoc. It's really fun in PvP. It's really fun in Mythic Plus. It's really fast, which is fun to play when you play a slow class like Priest. And yeah, I was like trying to remember the rotation, and like once you like mess up the rotation, it just like tanks your DPS, and plus being up the boss's butt too. I was like, I don't want to play melee.
Yeah.
But it was fun to have that experience and kind of see what melee and DPS kind of go through, because Shadow is much more forgiving. I actually swapped back to Shadow for those reclear raids
Hmm.
because I thought it was fun, even though, yeah, you do have somewhat of a rotation. It's not like a lot of classes where if you don't like mage or something like fire mage, I remember if you're not like, optimizing your windows, it just you're not getting anything good out of it. At least for like some content where you're expected from like your raid group to be at a certain level.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I think it might be a lot easier. It gets me excited for the changes also because I think a lot of people, there's new players, there's players that want to like pivot into different content, and I think it's even, it's just frustrating to be like, I don't really get
Yeah.
this. Can I just like play the class, right? But I'm sure it's hard to serve both like the people who are trying to like be sweaty, and then also the people that are just like, I'm here to do the content and have fun. I'm not about to look at a spreadsheet, right?
I think that's it makes me wonder if, especially on the public side of things, that the opinions is warped, right? That you see the very, because if you're in a middle tier guild like me and you're just playing the game, you don't really care. Like similar to like you don't really care that much about class balance in the big picture. You're like, is my class doing okay? Can I heal the boss that we're currently on, or DPS the
Mhm.
boss, or tank the boss that I'm currently on? And the answer 100% of the time is yes, which means that
Hmm.
outside of that, I don't care about balance, right? Like it feels bad when your class is nerfed, but then
Yeah.
is that a prospect of people pushing the higher end? Like, am I feeling bad because the top end is complaining about that my class is OP? Like, I don't. I think there's a
Yeah.
very, very. I think it's. I do not envy game devs at all, because I think the line in
No,
which you
no
have to
way.
do like class balance is awful.
Yeah, I think, it's hard to avoid like the meta surfacing too. And as a priest player, maybe even as a blood DK, you feel this. But I know you play disc too, is there's definitely classes that are always pretty solid at certain content. Like, I feel like Druid is
Yeah.
really good for a lot of like PvP and paladins and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I'm not like sad about that. If you don't like the way your class plays, try something
I
different,
I
right?
I think I
As
think
long as it's not unplayable.
yeah, I think you hit it perfectly there. It's like, if you don't enjoy playing it, play something else. Like if you I feel like that's probably one of people's biggest causes of burnout as well, is that they go, I want to play the best spec. I don't enjoy playing it, but I want to play the best spec. I want to perform the best. And then they're like, but I don't enjoy playing this. And if you're not enjoying playing it, you're gonna then dislike playing the game, which I think is a big, big like cause of burnout for a lot of people, where they're chasing
Yeah.
the numbers rather than playing the game.
Yeah, I definitely know people that will play the meta no matter what, and the excitement and enjoyment comes from, like, how strong that class is at
Yep.
that time, and I just don't that's just not how I play.
No.
Like, I've definitely started seasons where I'm like, Holy Priest feels like garbage in Raid, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like I forgot how to play. And yeah, if you don't like alt a lot, it becomes kind of hard.
Yeah.
But I think Blizz is really good about kind of even more now, just making changes, kind of seeing what's going on, and having a realistic idea of how people are playing and what's like showing up. Like when what was it the season in Dragonflight where Resto Druid was just like they're so like almost all the keys were resto druids, right?
Hmm.
To the point where, it felt like people couldn't enjoy stuff because even if you play where you're not pushing and getting sweaty about it, um, for like a 5 key, people would require a resto
That's
druid. And you're like, there's no reason to do that because you're not that's not what the key requires at that level. Like that's like a very chill situation, but it
yeah.
kind of excludes a lot of people and that part I never really enjoy about it. That's the only part I care about class balance.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Like it is definitely hard. Like we said earlier, do not envy game developers at all. That seems like a hard job. That seems like a very hard job, and it feels like no matter what you do, you are never ever going to please people. There is always somebody you're going to make unhappy with class balance. It's like, oh, I changed this. Like you were performing 100% more, so we nerfed you. No, they're still unhappy because they weren't nerfed in the way that they thought was going to be good.
For sure, for sure. Everyone thinks about it from their perspective, which makes sense. But
Yeah,
I'm actually excited about this next season. Not so much like the lore. I love that, of course,
yeah,
but the content looks really good. I haven't looked at the mythic lineup yet, but the raids look really amazing,
yeah.
visually and just like with all the changes to the ongoing changes that have happened for telegraphing and just like reducing the need for add-ons, like combat add-ons, like, I think that's generally a good thing. I'm very curious to see how it goes because it
Yeah.
does require that things change a little bit in order for Blizz to pick up that slack that, people
Yep.
have leaned on for a lot of those add-ons. But I'm mostly optimistic. I know it's a lot of people
That's
really don't like that idea.
I think
Of course, accessibility is a huge part of
yeah,
it too,
I
but yeah,
do
from my perspective, I'm excited.
I do think that's a very 50-50. I think you've got some
Mhm.
people who are very in no, like some people who were very invested in add-ons and things like that. They liked what they were doing and who are now not very happy with the changes. I think there are other people. I think the sides of the coin. It's not just a two-sided coin. I think that is a many faced coin, to reference a WoW item.
Yeah,
um,
it's kinda like a wait and see thing because I
yeah,
like to go in kind of blind, to seeing the raid until, we actually go in and
the
raid. But, like, the clips I've seen, are kind of encouraging because a lot of the stuff where you're like, "Okay, 1, we needed an add-on for this before," like, assignments and stuff like that, standing,
yeah,
who handles what, like, you know, uh, punishing mechanics like kicks or, how many people stack or where you do it. I feel like there's a lot more breadcrumbs around that. So you're not lost. And those are the things that I feel like I've seen the most in rating is, download
yeah,
this week aura so everyone knows where to like spread out like the fractalist lines and stuff like
s-
that. But I feel like there's going to be more hints. It's not going to be as
yeah.
handholdy, but
I,
that's kind of the fun of prog too, is like getting
I
into that rhythm.
I will have my, how do you put it? Because I'm in a very similar but slightly different point of view in that I think that people installed add-ons because they were told to by their raid leader. Like, hey, we're
That too,
using
yeah.
this week or a pack. And I think 99% of it is visual and auditory noise that they didn't really pay attention to in the first place. There
Yeah.
are bosses, I will say there are what I will call obnoxious bosses that required weak auras, and they are Fractilus. Is You could do that boss without a weak aura, but on Mythic, you're talking like 500 attempts before you get it, whereas a weak aura, it's one, maybe two attempts.
Yeah, for Fractalus, I remember that we had assignments for spread, right?
Mhm.
Like where you spread, like
Yep.
you always went there, and people wouldn't go there anyway. Or like somebody
Exactly.
after like 10 pulls would be like, I think I have the wrong version of this weak aura. And those weak auras specifically a lot of times won't help you if one person doesn't have them
No, it can't.
installed
It
because
can't
it
tell that
right.
where
And I
that
think a lot of
person
people
is.
don't realize that and you're like,
Yep.
why is this so hard?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
sort of
time.
glad. Like, I'm a little bit upset about certain things because, like you mentioned, in terms of accessibility, and I think certain people. I think it's sad for certain people who have played the game. Like, for example, I have my guild master, right, and she's played the game basically the same length I have. She's been playing 18, 19 years in the
Okay.
same way, and now certain things that she's played the game with don't work, and they weren't like benefits or anything like that. They weren't like, oh yeah, this week or was doing this. It's just that the way that she processed the information is now no longer available, and that's a
Yeah.
little bit sad because it's like, but at the same time, it's like, then if it means we don't get weak bosses like Fractilus and what was his name? The guy after Styx in the last raid, or the the brood keeper boss
Sticks.
after Styx. Who was after Styx?
Oh, you're talking about Undermine?
Yeah, who was the boss after
Oh,
Styx
I
and
blocked that raid
Undermine?
out. That was
I
like
hated
my
that boss.
worst nightmare.
There was Styx I hated because we did Styx without a weak aura because we just marked the room and that worked. And then there was Sprocketmonger. That was his name. Sprocketmonger was a nightmare because you had the bombs in the four corners, right? And you had to hit them in the
Yeah.
right order, but you couldn't have. But it wasn't like you couldn't just have certain people. It was all to do with like people were on the left and right side, so you had Thaddeus mechanics, and it was just like, what? This is too hard. Like, you can't do this on the fly. Like, you've got like 1 second to decide who does it. Of course, you need a weak aura to do it. If you just gave a little bit more time, you wouldn't need a weak aura. But then it'd be too easy for the
Yeah, I'm
guilds
really
that do
glad that they
use a
added
weak
like a
aura.
boss timer to the
Yeah.
Blizzard UI because I feel
Oh,
like yes, that's not the same, but I think awareness around boss timers and stuff like that and like what mechanics come before something like that so you can prepare. Like, because how many people, I mean, I'm sure, you've said this too, but how many raid leads have you heard say, like,
yeah.
okay, this is coming up, everyone freaking pay attention. Um, but yeah, it does put a lot of pressure on people to realize what they don't pay attention to,
Yeah.
and kind of work around that. But yeah, it's too comfy. People enjoy it, but yeah, I'm super curious to see how it
I
goes.
am.
I'm not I'm not like super scared.
No, I will like I like the game. I don't care if my like weak aura doesn't work or anything like that. I will play the game. I've done like I did actually on NA. I did 2.5K without any add-ons like pugging,
That's
and I'm
right. That's
like,
right.
oh, it's fine. Like, you can do it. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying, and I think the worst part is the nameplates, and they've been improved a fair bit since, like, based on what I've been testing recently. Like, the nameplates are a massive improvement. They're still not good. I still think the Blizzard nameplates need a bit of work, but like, they are head and shoulders above what they used to be. They were basically
Right.
unusable back in the day. Like, but even the War Within, they were basically unusable because you can't see who's casting what. So how do you prioritize and interrupt it when you've got
Yeah.
like you have 6 things casting at you? I need to interrupt the one that's going to kill me. How do I tell which one that
Right.
is? Whereas in
Yeah.
with an add-on, you'd be like, it's the one that's highlighted. That's the one that I need to interrupt. Whereas,
Or even like I think like Little Wigs did a thing because when I was started doing more keys as shadow, um, I had like a silence and it would the I love audio cues and the audio cues would only say something when it was something that I could kick or
okay,
like silence and I did figure that out for a while, but it's nice, but yeah, when you have like a stack of like a billion like enemies, I'm not gonna see that bar, you know.
yeah,
Maybe the flashing light is good, but yeah, the visual and audio noise is kind of an issue for sure.
it's definitely going to be a learning curve. I honestly don't see a lot changing. I don't see a lot going from one to the other, if you get what I mean. Like, I don't see like all of a sudden the worst players in the game are now way better and the best players in the game are now a lot worse. I think the
Mhm.
basic where everyone is where everyone is. I think there's certain people who will adapt quicker. Like, I'm hoping the fact that I can, like I said, I've done runs without add-ons all the way to 2.5K without many issues. So I think people like myself might adapt quicker than somebody else. But I
It
don't think,
depends what you use them for too, right?
yeah,
Like
I think it's just a matter of adapting rather than not adapting.
yeah, and like people can theorycraft all day about like what it's gonna feel like, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm really excited to see how it actually plays out, and where we feel like we need the help that we had from weak auras in some way. Like I don't need a weak aura that shouts at me every 10 seconds to press prayer of mending because I should figure that out, right? Like
yeah, and
just press it like constantly. I don't know. Or
if
like
you
who to
are,
PI and when, right?
that one's a little bit more nuanced, right? Because if you're in a pickup group, I think things like where you buff somebody else, and I think this is just a problem with PI in general, is when you
I mean
buff
to
somebody
open it
else.
up.
I was going to say that's a big old can of worms, PI.
Right, right, right.
But
But yeah, like those things are not gonna affect like how
yeah,
well or not I play. Those are things that I mean, obviously prayer mending is important, but like pressing it, I think like I was talking to my holy priest mentor and he was like, you wanna like for raid, I look at uptime on prayer of mending because it's like you're a huge part of your passive healing and it's been like pumped the last couple seasons, so you really want to
yeah,
press it. But like, if you're into logs, I love logs. I don't think it's necessary.
numbers.
But the goal was to get like CPM, I think it was between 7 and 9 for prayer of mending
Yep.
on pulls. And, you know,
I,
if you're within that range, like you're good, right? Like, you can check that at any time and just plan like your next like button press, things like that. It's
yeah,
not like the game is making it difficult for me to do that. And while I enjoy that, having a weak aura for that, that's really what I mean by uh, maybe it's quality of life, but it doesn't keep you from playing the game.
yeah. Like, I think that's a really healthy way to approach the game because you don't. I think it's the same in all gaming culture stuff, right? There's a tendency
Yeah.
to blame other people. Like, that wasn't me. I didn't make the biggest
Yeah.
mistake in that key. That was because the tank didn't pull in this direction. When, yeah,
Right.
maybe that was true, but I think the reflection on your own play goes a lot further than just being like, tank didn't pull right. Oh, let's queue next key. Whereas, or let's go again. Whereas I think
Hmm.
reflection on, oh, what could have I done better to maybe make it easier for the tank would be a really
Yeah.
healthy approach. But that just doesn't happen. People just don't play like that. They are, oh, that was the bad tank. Therefore, I'm queuing again to then get another bad tank, or oh, I got a key that was okay because the rest of the group.
Those people are, I feel like, are always unhappy though. Like, and
Oh,
the nice part is you can play like at a level that's enjoyable, I think, and not that stuff doesn't matter. Like you
yeah,
can have a really bad tank or think you have a really bad tank and still like time a key, but maybe you're not doing like 15s. Maybe you're doing like sixes or eights, right? Like kind of adjust your expectations. Like, but that's a whole other thing. Humans
Yeah.
being humans, right?
I was going to say, it's hard to say I made a mistake when it's actually when you know it was your fault, or even if you don't know it was your fault, but if you felt like, I think self-reflection in terms of like gameplay is really hard because it's like going, yeah, I know I suck, but I am trying to get better.
Yeah. I really like, I've raided in a bunch of guilds and I really like the raid leads that especially this is like super relevant when you're doing more of like a mid-tier group for Mythic where you're genuinely pushing into like the fourth or fifth boss plus
Yeah.
is the idea that the raid lead will be like, okay, we wiped on this. What happened? What went wrong? Or like, I know you missed your kick, blah 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 person.
Yeah.
What happened? How can we help you, get better? Or if no one says anything, the person's like, well, this is what I saw that happened, or they have like a recap, they'll record stuff and look at it. I don't I'll be okay with some of that, but I think it's perfectly acceptable to um you can push that content without being super sweaty. It just depends if you want to get CE, I think.
Yeah, I think
But I've definitely been in guilds where they don't do that level of stuff. They're just solid players that are, truly on a team versus playing a single player game. And they do really well. And that's kind of the comfy spot, because you can work on your own stuff, but I don't want to have a whole roundtable discussion about like every pull,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, like I if we talk history and things like that, so I know one of the things that this wasn't just mine, but a lot of guilds. So if you go back to Wrath of the Lich King, right? And when ICC first came out, the final boss of each wing had limited attempts, and then they ran away.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, that's it was insane because, for example, you would have guilds that would do,
Was it like
say,
a weekly lockout
yep,
or something?
you had 5 attempts per like
No.
Lich King. When you first got there, you had 5 attempts per week, and it increased to 10, 15, and I think it stopped at
That
20.
is so rough.
So what you would
That's
do,
so demoralizing.
what you would do in high-end guilds was you'd pull the Lich King, right? You'd do a pull, you'd wipe like 1.5 minute in, and then you'd talk for 8 hours about what went wrong and what went right in that pool.
Now I totally understand where a lot of this might have come from.
But there was also that you had other bosses, like you had, if you were in the really high end guild, you would use alts. You'd do pulls on
Right,
alts
right.
to learn mechanics, and then you'd bring in the mains to be like, yeah, we're going to pull, and then you'd have the mage who stood in the shadow trap and died anyway. But like, that was one of the things that they did. They did the opposite the tier before in Ulduar. That Algalon had an hour. You had 1 hour to beat him, and then he ran away. So you had like that was it. So you would just chain pull for 1 hour to try and beat him. It was a different time. Like
Right.
I think they were experimenting with stuff to try and work out.
Mhm.
It would be interesting how, especially now with race to world first guilds, how they would approach something like that.
I mean, they go until they get it, right?
Yeah, but
Maybe
like
sleep.
if there was like but if you had limited attempts on a boss, how would they? How and what would be even more interesting is if they put warbound attempts. So basically,
That would be so mean.
you could only have 5 attempts. Actually, they could do it. You could actually do it because you could make it the lockout because they've only got one lockout with that boss, right?
Right.
So they
Right.
could just be like, yeah, that lockout has
Don't give
five
them
attempts on a
ideas.
boss, and then watch what happens. That'd be brilliant to watch. Like, I don't know if it'd make good content to play, but it'd be interesting to see. Okay, maybe this is just me, but I'd find it
It
interesting.
might be just you and a few other
Yeah,
people.
but like I'd find it interesting to see how the guilds approach it rather than, because at the moment it's just pull until we get it sort of thing. Like, yeah, we're going to talk about what's going wrong, what's going right, but it's just we need to hit this until it dies. Which it'd be interesting to see if there
Yeah.
was a more methodical approach to it where it's like less about just pull. It's more about, hey, we need to make sure we get this right on this attempt because we've only got one more attempt this week, and then he's gone for the rest of the reset. And
Yeah, and in some like similar ways, uh, I'll let you finish. Sorry, I have a thought on that.
I was just gonna say it'd just be interesting to see it be more methodical and more like there would be that it'd be interesting to see would guilds be like, hey, we can't pull yet. We've got to wait for the other guilds to pull because we don't want to be the first
Oh
ones to
yeah,
pull and stuff like that. It'd just be interesting. It'd be a good social experiment.
I think that social experiments like that are just gonna piss people off. But I get you. I'm super curious about that kind of stuff too, like how people handle it. But like on a related note, like about what I think for that is a lot of people learn by doing, and reps are great. Um, I don't think a lot of people would enjoy having alts to get more pulls, but at the same time, it's something that I think about now with Mythic Prog. Is I don't alt very often. I had another priest one season to do this, but say you're like progging a boss with your guild, right? And you've done your weekly stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I personally am like, I have to go in. I want to like practice this one thing, like Ghosts on Salhadar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's literally no way to do that because it's different on heroic, and I can't go back in and like pug it on my main because you have that lockout, right? You don't want to like screw your
Yeah.
group over if you're extending lockout. But the only way to do it again, same with your idea, is, and even what happened, right, is that people have alts and they do it that way, but you have different gear. You have like, I don't know. I had a blood elf and,
Yeah.
you don't get like spatial rift. I mean, it's the little things, right? It's not a one-to-one. Um, it's helpful, I'm sure, but that's asking a lot from people, I think, as much as that might be kind of interesting.
That would be an interesting. Okay, if we approach it like from a learning perspective, if people want to learn the boss, which is what people do, right? It's the same. Like you said, they're putting in the
Training
reps to learn
grounds.
it. But it would be interesting if you could find like simulations of the bosses, so you won't get the full boss fight, but like you can be like, hey, I want to practice. Like you could go to training grounds and be like, hey,
Right.
I am struggling on. I don't know. Let's pick a boss. What's a boss that people struggle on a lot? Like,
Anything Dimensius.
yeah, let's just say, okay, people are struggling with like stacking on Dimensius, right? So they use the raid, like the group, like the fake group tech. I forgot what it's called. What is the fake group tech called? I don't know.
War games, or is that just PvP?
No,
The training grounds.
but yeah, the training ground. Like you do the story mode, right? They have like story
Oh
mode
yeah.
NPCs, right? So you teleport into the fight and you will get like the first, like, say you do like 1 minute of the fight and then it ends and that's it. Like you don't get to see how to transition or how to do that, but you can practice each individual mechanic for
That
a
would be
boss.
insane.
And you just practice in training grounds. That would be really. And then they put like that you can only pull a boss 5 times a week.
Huh.
So you can practice
Interesting.
all of the mechanics because that would be
Ooh,
hilarious.
that limit on pulls though, I can't like, it gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
It would feel very, very bad. For example, if you were doing a good attempt and you disconnected and you lost an attempt to something out of your control, that would feel really, really, really bad.
It's like hardcore classic rating. I mean,
Yeah.
one, you're gonna die, you lose that character, and two, some Yahoo is gonna do something dumb, like
Yep.
their cat's gonna walk on their keyboard and then wipe the group, and everyone has to re-roll or log into an alt, and
That
it's
would
like,
be.
how do you guys do this? It is some personality I do not understand.
Yeah, that would be so amusing though. Could you imagine Race to World First? They're just about to get the kill, and like
No,
Mr. Tibbles jumps on the healer's
right,
healer's keyboard and wipes the whole group. It'd be so
Mr.
good.
Tibbles.
Yeah,
Mr. Tibbles is gonna get
Yeah,
a tongue lashing.
yeah, that cat's not gonna go down well.
No more raiders with cats.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pets would be banned.
Yeah. So we're trying to do like an hour of this. It's really
Yeah.
easy to talk
Oh,
forever because that's just like
yeah.
our style together. But I do want to talk about just remind people that we have our early access on Thursday,
Hmm.
the 26th. You might want to check your realm time. Mine is 3 p.m. Pacific, and then we're going into midnight together, everyone, on March 2nd, which is super exciting.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I can't wait to level and see what you guys think. Um,
3
and then
p.m.
maybe we'll talk
is
about BlizzCon stuff. It's on our
y-
list today, but I don't know that we're gonna get there, and it
yeah.
deserves a
BlizzCon.
whole like.
I was going to say BlizzCon's still a fair way away. Like, I'm actually going, which is going to be cool. Hopefully, as
I'm
long
so
as nothing goes
excited.
wrong. Like, well, I'm hopefully going. It'd be my first time in America, so
Oh wow, that's gonna be a really special memorial trip. Hopefully in a good way.
I'm not there for very long, but I'm excited. It's been on my list for a long time, basically ever since they did one
Oh,
in
for
France.
sure.
I don't know if you knew, but
No, I
back
think somebody might have told me, but yeah,
I can't even remember what year it was, but they did one in France and then they've never done one in Europe ever again. And it's like, I
tough for
want
you
to
guys.
go. I want to go. And
Yeah.
it's so expensive because it's a fairly long flight for me and stuff like that. But it's like, nope, I got to go.
Yeah.
It's on my
Yeah.
list. I
I
want
mean,
to
even
go.
for definitely not as much probably, but even people that are American, right? Like if you're coming from the East Coast, that is a whole time. Like
You're a
you still have to do the same thing, right? Like the flight might
big
cost less than flying from Europe, but you still have to like rent a hotel, possibly a car, like all your food, everything. Like
yeah.
I
You're a
think that it would be nice to have more options for folks.
Like we had
Um,
because we have in Germany we had Gamescom where Blizzard had a
mhm.
presence sort of thing. They had a booth which was pretty cool, like because I was there
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But like it's not the same. Like BlizzCon is Blizzard stuff, and I don't just play. I think you're the same. I know you're the same. It's not just WoW. It's
Oh,
all of the Blizzard games, right? I enjoy.
I had so much fun during BlizzCon. It was my first year, the one before they stopped doing them for a couple years.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was like it was the year that um Diablo 4 dropped. So they had like a huge presence in the
yeah.
convention center for that, and it was so cool. And I was like, I love Diablo. Um, I play like every season. But yeah, like having that and WoW stuff was just like amazing, right? Like I don't play Overwatch or anything, but you
I'm
have friends that play the other games
yeah.
too, and you can kind of get hyped for them, seeing what they get too.
Yeah, because I'm a big. I used to play. I don't play. I haven't logged on D4 since my hardcore rogue. I got disconnected and never logged back in
Oh no, that's
because
rough.
I got to
Yeah,
like
I don't blame you.
77 and I was going for the statue. Do you know they did the whole
Right,
name on the
right. Yeah.
statue? I was going for
They're
that.
doing one again, I think, for a warlock.
Are they?
They
I
introduced.
am not going through that again. That was awful.
Okay.
That was an awful experience because I wasn't racing. Like there was people who were very fast, but I was like, I don't need to race. All I need to do is wait for a few
Stay
people who are ahead of me to die, and then I'll get ahead. That's all I needed to do. And then I DC'd. I still have no idea if I actually died. I have not logged in ever since because it got to me. I was like, nope, that's it, not doing that. And have not played
I watch
D4
lots of
since.
compilations of hardcore deaths, both in Classic
Yeah.
and Diablo, and I'm just like, I feel like 50% of the deaths are always something really dumb.
Yep.
Uh, and that must be so frustrating because these people are awesome at the game, like,
Hmm.
and they're taking their time, and they like, there's definitely people that get cocky and like risky, but like getting DC'd has literally nothing to do with your
Exactly.
with
Like
your skill or like ability.
and it
Oh, it's so frustrating.
sucks. I didn't even play I know there's meta builds, it's the same as well, right? There's meta builds for everything. And like I wasn't even playing meta. I was doing Rain of Arrows at the beginning, like Rogue. I was like, yeah, enjoying myself. And I DC'd and I was like, no.
Man, that's rough.
I want to play again. Like, I want to play the new expansion, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if
The
I
trauma is
can.
real. I get it.
Yeah, and I don't want to know if the rogue is alive, because if the rogue's alive, then I'm gonna feel like I should have carried on.
Or you just don't want to know. It's
Yeah,
like at
I
some point
don't
you're just
want to
like,
know. And
is it worse to know or not know?
yeah, and I'm quite happy. Like, and it's the story, right? Like, it's the story that I have the rogue, and I still have no idea. Maybe I have to just buy a second Battle.net account and play D4 that way. I'll ask a Blizzard dev. Can you hide my character for me so that I just don't know?
Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, so I am really stoked that we are starting
Yeah.
something a little bit different. We are aiming for bi-weekly. That feels really good right now.
Hmm.
We were doing like monthly with the Oasis podcast, and every time we would get together, it just felt like I had so much to say. We all had so much to say and be excited about. So yeah, I'm glad, we talked about how often we wanted to do it. And that just felt really good. So I'm excited to talk more about it. I hope you guys have an awesome for folks doing early access, have an awesome week. Remember to drink water for sure.
Yes. Drink water and eat many snacks, because you need to stay strong during the early access, because you're not going to be playing the game because it's going to be bugged. I am 100%. It's not going to work straight away. It will take a little while. So you need lots of
Yeah, and we're
snacks.
not we're not even getting like season 1 content until March 17th. So
Yeah.
I mean, obviously play however fast you want to, but yeah, there's really no crazy requirement for folks that have been playing every season to like catch up unless you need to get to a better place.
Hmm.
But I think even catch up gear is pretty good at getting people on an even playing field. So we all have a lot of time to get there. Just enjoy. This is an
Yeah.
exciting time.
Yeah. It's definitely an exciting time. Like, oh, it's the best time to play WoW. Expansion launches.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. So yeah,
I just wanted to.
exciting.
Yeah, as we're closing out, I just want to say that just in case you did miss this and you're just turning up now, this should be available on YouTube. We'll put links somewhere on the channel. I'm not sure where. Probably Elu's way better at this sort of stuff, at informing people with things that are happening. I am not very good at informing people. I just
I'll
go,
make sure to post some links and stuff
yeah,
to all the different places. Right now, I'm most active on Blue Sky, but yeah,
yeah,
I'll make a post. We'll share stuff and we'll get you guys
yeah.
set up for hanging out the next time we do this.
Yeah, we should be able to. Like I said, if you missed it, there should be a recording of this on YouTube, and there will be the VOD on Twitch for like 7 days. So
Yes, thanks to Roguery for the pro YouTube stuff. I am not great at that, but I'll do the social and Twitch stuff. That's
yeah,
definitely more my space. But yeah, like that's a lot. There's more ways to listen and watch, and like there'll be VODs and stuff. So
it
if you
should
don't
it
catch
should all
us
work.
live, mhm,
It should
yep,
all work. We hope it's gonna take a
yeah,
while. Certain things are gonna disappear
I'm
into the void.
optimistic.
We need to.
Yeah,
It's on brand. We need to stay on brand.
yes. Yeah, and we do have a couple things to talk about for BlizzCon next time, but yeah, we'll see you guys in a few weeks
Yeah,
and enjoy your launch weeks. And yeah, thank you so
yeah.
much. It was fun
Cheers.
to do again.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Bye.
I need to stop this. I forget. Whoops. I'm in charge at the moment.
How do Twitch work?
Yeah. Sorry anyone who was watching with the sound on, because I just made USB unplug sounds. But yeah, thank you, and catch you later.
Bye.